Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. And of course, we're joining you from a new destination, a different studio. And this is the epicenter of the elections coming up in Karnataka. So I'm joining you live from our Bengaluru studios, and we'll get you everything you need to know of the political pitch that has been set today, specifically in reference to the BJP manifesto being announced today. So that, of course, makes it a very clear fight of what the BJP is promising as far as their Sankalp Patra is concerned versus what the Congress guarantees have been in public announced so far. So remember, the BJP has made a lot of promises, 16 prominent promises. Some of the highlights are the UCC implementation, Uniform Civil Code in the state of Karnataka. This is something more and more BJP-led states are doing individually, even if there's no talk on the national level. There's also the mention of completing the NRC, the National Register of Citizens, to ensure that there can be quick deportation of illegal migrants into the state. Apart from that, in a way, one can see that they've tried to match some of the promises that have been made by the Congress party already. So there's talk of 3 cylinders per year free to BPL families. There's talk of ration kits for BPL families, even half a litre of Nandini Milk to every BPL family every day. How far will this take the Bommai government or the BJP in the state of Karnataka is the big question we'll ask. Whose promises have more weight and who's likely to get more votes because of that? So I will be joined with a panel. We have a special report from Nandini Milk Parlour too on what people feel about what the BJP has said. But before that, let me also take you through some of the big promises from both sides. So let's take a look. The Congress, for example, has promised every household free electricity up to 200 units. This is the model that the Congress is also adopting in state after state. The BJP, on the other hand, has promised an EV city near Bengaluru supporting 1,000 startups. Congress has promised free 10 kilograms of rice for below poverty line families. On the other hand, the BJP has promised for BPL families 5 kg rice, 5 kg millets, and half a litre of Nandini milk every day, as I said. The Grand Old Party has also promised 3,000 rupees per month for unemployed graduates for a certain period of time. On the other hand, the BJP has promised 10 lakh housing sites for the homeless. Congress has promised 2,000 per month to the woman head of the family. Again, a theme that is recurring in many of the Congress manifestos now. The BJP has instead promised to provide a matching deposit of up to 10,000 rupees on 5-year fixed deposits for women. The Congress has also promised unemployed diploma holders 1,500 rupees per month. Meanwhile, the BJP has promised holistic upgradation of government schools. So there is a clear difference emerging. Of course, BJP is a very vocal critic of freebie politics, so they can't be seen as given freebies like cash dolouts. But they have, of course, tried to match some of those promises by the Congress in other ways to appeal to similar voter segments. We'll talk to our guests about exactly where does each party stand. So whose promises will get more votes? That's our big debate coming up. As I promised, Nandini Milk is back on the front burner now of Karnataka politics ahead of the assembly elections. So there's a report from a Nandini Milk Parlour in Bengaluru too. Take a look.
जब आप कहते हो कि मैं बिजली मुफ्त दूंगा, हम पानी मुफ्त देंगे, अब मुझको भी मुफ्त दोगे जो दे सकता है, तो ये रेवड़ियां बांट रहे हो। तो कांग्रेस पार्टी रेवड़ी बांटती है और हम सशक्तिकरण करते हैं।
It has got all the ingredients of economic growth, social equality.
ನಮ್ಮದು ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾಳೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೋಗಸ್ಸು. ನಾವು ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂತ ಭರವಸೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್.
On the burning heat of the election stove in Karnataka, Nandini Milk has been brought back onto the front burner and it's almost reaching boiling point. After being in a bit of a soup because of the entire Nandini versus Amul controversy, accused of wanting to merge Amul with Nandini, the BJP in Karnataka today, as part of its manifesto, has announced free Nandini Milk for BPL families. Is that to tide over that controversy? I've come here at one such Nandini Milk parlour in Bengaluru. Let's try and find out from the public what they think. बीजेपी ने आज अनाउंस किया है कि वो सरकार बनाएंगे तो आधा किलो नंदिनी मिल्क सब गरीब परिवारों को देंगे. आप क्या सोचते हैं इस प्रॉमिस के बारे में?
आधा लीटर दूध में क्या भी नहीं आता है. क्या क्यों कहता हो? पेट्रोल महंगा है, गैस सिलेंडर महंगा है, सब महंगा है. आधा लीटर दूध में क्या भी नहीं आता. हमें चाहिए एम्प्लॉयमेंट. लास्ट 5 years से बीजेपी एक ही एम्प्लॉयमेंट नहीं हुई है.
जो बीजेपी ने प्रॉमिस किया है आधा लीटर दूध देने के लिए गरीब परिवारों को, वो अच्छी बात है या सही है या कैसा लग रहा है?
वो अच्छी बात सही बात हमको मालूम नहीं होता, इतना पॉलिटिक्स मालूम नहीं है. लेकिन सभी का दूध फ्री होता है तो ठीक है. वो सर बोल दीजिए वो पेट्रोल ज्यादा है, गैस ज्यादा है, वही मेन एक्चुअली पेट्रोल एंड दिस पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट व्हाट आर ऑल द पीपल आर यूजिंग रेगुलरली, दैट प्राइस शुड रिड्यूस.
अभी बीजेपी ने मैनिफेस्टो निकाला है, आधा लीटर नंदिनी मिल्क गरीब परिवारों को देंगे. अच्छी बात है, सही बात है, क्या है, कैसा लग रहा है?
वो देते वक्त पता चलेगा. अभी तो इश्यू करते हैं लोग, पता नहीं कब देते हैं क्या नहीं देते. वो बोलने में क्या जा रहा है उनका. सभी अब इलेक्शन है ना तो ऐसे ही बोलते हैं. देखिए ना 5 साल से क्या क्या हालत हो गया. बीजेपी बोलता जो भी कुछ भी नहीं करता, सिर्फ बोलता है. प्रैक्टिकल सुनने में अच्छा लगता है.
तो ये बताइए कि नंदिनी और अमूल को लेके बड़ा झगड़ा हो गया था, आपने सुना होगा. तो आपको लगता है उससे बीजेपी को थोड़ा नुकसान होगा? वो अमूल को यहाँ लाने की बात नहीं करनी चाहिए थी?
नहीं, एवरग्रीन है नंदिनी जो है, एवरग्रीन है. जो भी ब्रांड आ जाओ नंदिनी की बात नहीं आती. अमूल वो कुछ भी हो जाओ ये इसकी बात नहीं आएगी.
That is a false promise.
It's a false promise. Why do you think so?
No, there is scarcity of milk in the Karnataka itself. There's no plenty of milk, because how can they give the milk for free to poor?
Okay. So it will not
No,
help
it's
them.
not. No.
आप बताइए, आपको क्या लगता है बीजेपी ने जो प्रॉमिस किया है नंदिनी मिल्क फ्री करने को गरीब परिवारों को?
गरीब परिवार को आधा लीटर दिया तो बहुत अच्छा, खुश का.
वैसे आप मानते हैं कि नंदिनी मिल्क बेस्ट है यहाँ पे?
हाँ, हम सबका नंदी बेस्ट है.
बट अमूल के आगे नंदिनी नहीं चलेगा, चलेगा अमूल नहीं चलेगा.
इधर नंदिनी बेस्ट है हमको. उसके लिए अमूल का बारे में खुश है, मगर नंदिनी हमको बेस्ट.
अच्छा, तो अमूल मिल्क मिलता है जहाँ
मिलता
है. You can get 1 liter of Nandini milk for 40 rupees. So half a liter means 20 rupees worth of free milk every day for poor families. That translates to a subsidy of 600 rupees per month. Will that be a game changer for the BJP that was caught in a little bit of an embarrassing soup? As far as the Nandini versus Amul fight is concerned, we'll have to wait and see. But certainly, it seems like they've tried to tide over that controversy. The Congress still continues to attack them, and it looks like that will continue till voting is done on May 10. With camera person Mana Das in Bengaluru, Shivani Gupta, CNN News 18. So, of course, that's an urban center like Bengaluru. This promise of Nandini milk is half a litre for BPL families. Karnataka-wide, across, what impact it will have? Let me take that question first up to our guest joining us. Dr. Sameer Kagalkar is Karnataka BJP spokesperson. Dhruv Jatti from Karnataka Congress. BS Arun is senior journalist, a regular on our shows here on CNN News 18. Aman Sharma is senior editor, News 18, joining me. Of course, he's been travelling across Karnataka as well. So let me begin with Sameer Kagalkar. So I ran this report, and you know, Nandini is a very evocative issue, as we have figured, and I think the BJP has learned recently ahead of these elections. So is this an attempt to, you know, assuage those tempers that the BJP seems to have flared with that Amul versus Nandini controversy?
I mean, first and foremost, there is no sense of trying to assuage temper, so on and so forth. The reason is the manifesto is sort of a vision document for a party. And I was just listening to you when you spoke of guarantees of the Congress versus the guarantees of the BJP. I mean, I don't see any comparison because it's a guarantee on the one hand of the Congress party, while the other hand is a vision of the BJP, right? So what is that the vision you're trying to portray? What is it that you would want to do to ensure that your state becomes probably a $1 trillion economy? How does it become socially strong? How does it become economically strong? And these are the things that we have put this in our manifesto. So it speaks of a particular vision.
Okay, I'll come to the manifesto issue in just a minute.
Coming to Nandini.
In Nandini, in my report, like I can concede that this is an urban center, Bengaluru, so the BPL promise may not impact some of the people that I spoke to, but clearly they seem to feel that this is not going to be enough.
It's an absolute sample bias. You have spoken to people. If you talk to me and say, Samir will this, Enthus, you will say no. Anyway, I get my milk every day, more than what probably I should be consuming. So the question is, you talk to the right set of people. As I said, the vision document, we speak of paushtikate, the kind of a nutrition that we would want the people to have. That's where millets come into play. That's where Nandini Milk comes into play. Of course, it's Nandini, our own brand, our own state, and there is absolutely a win-win for all of us.
BS Arun, what do you think? Is this a promise that is meant to bring back some of the lost ground because of the Amul controversy?
I think so. This also shows that BJP has been clearly rattled by the issue that Congress has taken up over the last few weeks. And they tried their best to ensure that they come out of this, but I think BJP has not achieved that. I think this could be one reason why BJP has taken this up, although I welcome this because this would help people in the rural areas. Okay. But then this is an answer perhaps to the Congress for taking up the issue initially. And one more thing we should see, there are a huge number of milk producers in the old Mysuru region, and that's where the BJP is focusing on in this election. And that's also the stronghold of JDS, to some extent Congress also. So I think this is an attempt to catch that region also.
To boost the demand from that region. Yeah. All right, let me go across to Dhruv Jati as well. You've criticized this as a manifesto, Jairam Ramesh of the Congress party. Why is that? I mean, what is it about this Sankalp Patra which is screaming manifesto? They've made promises to all classes. So what is the criticism here?
Firstly, just before I get to your question, in response to the BJP spokesperson, a manifesto is something that's taken very seriously by the people, right? It's something that the people look up to, that a political party puts forth. You cannot say it's a vision document that may or may not be implemented. That's vague and ambiguous. And coming to your point, that's simply because the campaign on the whole has been drowning for the Bharatiya Janata Party, whether it was Nadda and Haveri saying people of Karnataka are devoid of the blessings of Narendra Modi if they don't vote for BJP, or whether it was Shah who went on to say and threaten the people of Karnataka in his campaign. And lastly, Mr. Modi, who came out and spoke about, how there's a long list of 91 lies. When they spend on such huge campaigns put together, the Prime Minister should have instead come and spoken about 91 promises that they had fulfilled in 2018.
But they've done that today, right? What's the issue with the Sankalp Patra? Let's do a focused conversation about what is your criticism? What is it, the promises that you don't like or you would have liked to see a different promise?
See, our first basic criticism is based on what happened in 2018. They put across about 600 promises, out of which they fulfilled only 10%. 10%.
55, you said, the Congress party said. 55 out of those 600, right?
10%. That's it. That's tiny for a government that claims to be a double engine, which is sitting in the center and in the state.
Dr. Samir, respond to that. Double engine is all you hear when you go to a BJP campaign.
Absolutely, yes. Double engine, undoubtedly, yes, it is. Undoubtedly, yes, we are. Now, when it comes to the question of saying you have done X%, I mean, where does Siddaramaiah get the figures, or probably Mr. Jati gets his figures from, that's up to them. The point is very clear. You as a government have a vision and run a government that ensures that the day-to-day issues and the medium-term, long-term issues are taken care of. 2018, nowhere foresaw 2020. Nowhere foresaw what kind of a COVID the world is going to sort of go through. And the kind of an action that the government, ensuring that we got vaccines on our own, we produced it in India, we ensured that we administered it without a single issue, is something to be very, very proud of as a country.
As a country?
And that's exactly
but that's not the Karnataka government's sole achievement, right?
No, it is a big achievement, undoubtedly, yes. And you need to sort of evaluate a government. You you should. You must evaluate a government based on the kind of situation that you are facing, based on the kind of stimulus that's come to your way, the challenges that you have faced, and therefore you have come.
Okay, but let me ask you a
perform.
straight question. Let's not go to the double engine question. Surely any state government benefits if they have the same party in the center. So let's not debate that.
Counter example there later on. Please go ahead.
But please tell me, the criticism that's coming is that you've not fulfilled what you promised in the past. So why should the public believe you now? It's very easy to make promises in against your promises. What the Congress is doing is giving a guarantee. That's his central point.
It's a play of words. It's a very excellent play of words. Probably a very good strategist who understands English, who's also probably studied at Cambridge and the Harvards of the world. Maybe they do very good English. So if you say that by saying guarantee, you're going to sort of necessarily deliver, I take it with a pinch of salt or probably a bucket of salt. Okay. The point is very clear. The last 70 years, you have seen year after year, election after election, saying that Garibi Hatao in various dialects. Right from an Amethi dialect to an Italian dialect, you have said Garibi Hatao. Where has it gone? It took a tea wala, a chai wala, who understood poverty, to come and say, we're going to do it in a time-bound manner. In a time-bound manner, I repeat. I'm talking to you because I, as a part of Anand Kumarji's team, was privy to the fact that we were given deadlines and saying you need to deliver. For instance, the first deadline that came was 100% neem coating of urea, 6 months flat. Piyush Goyalji came. He was given 1,000 days to ensure 18,000 villages are electrified. Dharmendra Pradhanji, 5 years, 8 crore cylinders to be given.
All good achievements, but you're not talking about the state government. You're talking about the central government.
Yes, I'm coming to that, Shiva.
Okay.
Yeah. So you understand and appreciate the fact that the central government, the key engine is driving our promises and delivery. Okay. Coming to the state government, we have been looking at the issues that's been bogging the state for years and probably decades.
Like?
Take it Madai, take it My Sugar, take it Upper Bhadra. These are the things that no Congress government, I mean, I specifically come to reservation a bit late. These are the things that were lagging for decades and you people didn't want to do it. And if anything, the Congress prefers that the issues linger and fester.
Okay.
We are here to sort of close them.
Okay,
That's what we have done.
Fair point. In governance, Aman, intent and, the way you deliver, your delivery track record, even if it's the Prime Minister at the center, all of that matters. Who do you have more faith that they will deliver rather than the strength of your promises alone?
Well, Shivani, if you go to the Congress office or, if you go to any village in Karnataka, you see this poster of these 4 guarantees of the Congress. Okay, they say that it's a guarantee card that Congress has distributed in the last 2 months to, thousands of villages. The figure I was told today by a Congress leader is nearly 2 crore people. It has joint signatures of Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. Shivkumar saying that we will give you these 4 guarantees if we come to power, and they've been doing it for the last 2 months. Today, what has happened is the BJP has come out with its own manifesto promising free cylinders, promising the half a litre of Nandini Milk. Many in Karnataka see the BJP's manifesto as a sort of a counter to those freebies promise of the Congress by the BJP. Now, but what is important is that though the Congress has been on this for the last 2 months, the BJP is doing this in its final lap. And now the Prime Minister's campaign is coming in the final lap, and that actually makes a lot of difference because when the Prime Minister steps into the campaign, there is a bit of a swing in the state, and PM has been attacking the freebie model. And more importantly, I think the PM has been attacking why the Congress gives 4 guarantees. The PM is saying that Congress has not been able to fulfill the guarantees it promised in earlier elections, be it in Chhattisgarh, be it in Rajasthan, or be it recently in Himachal, where also Congress promised 1,500 rupees per month to every woman, but it is not rolled out fully. So the PM is also questioning the credibility of the Congress guarantees. So I think the voter is essentially divided between the 2 camps that whom to believe. But I think the Congress promise, because Congress has been, I would actually concede that if you travel in Karnataka, I would say that Congress has been able to take its guarantees to the ground, to every village, to distribute these guarantee cards. And the BJP in its last lap is now obviously banking on Prime Minister Narendra Modi to go all out and, convince the people that BJP's guarantees are, and BJP doesn't call it a freebie, but BJP says it's for welfareism. And it is for the people who need it.
They claim they tread the very fine line of social welfareism versus freebie. And one of those examples is giving cash to, for example, women, right? Or just free rides which are catered to one gender. The Aam Aadmi Party example in Punjab also comes to mind. They have also been alleged of not being able to fulfill that promise that they made for women out.
The model actually began from the AAP success in Delhi.
I think
the Congress took a leaf out of how Mr. Kejriwal was able to sell that free electricity promise, and Congress picked it up from there and tasted success in Himachal. So, Congress is now going full on because it feels Himachal model has succeeded. And when Priyanka Gandhi goes on the stage and promises that we'll give rupees 2,000 to every woman, there's a certain sort of credibility to it. So that is, I think, what the Congress is banking on. But I would say the BJP's manifesto is pretty strong. And it all now depends how the BJP is able to take it to the masses in the last 1 week of the elections.
Yeah. Let me also now come to some of the more contentious issues that have been mentioned as far as the BJP Sankalp Patra is concerned. And that is, of course, UCC Promise and there is the NRC Promise, right? So these two, the UCC seems like it's this wand you come up with before every election.
Absolutely
it's a promise
not.
that it's become a staple promise before every state election.
Absolutely not. If you were to look at it, the BJP has a history, right from Article 370 in our manifesto, earlier manifestos, right from Article 370, right from the Ram Mandir, right from rooting out the leftist extremism. We have had a very, very consistent and focused approach in terms of what we need to be doing in the immediate term, mid-term and the long term. And we are consistent. We might probably do it now. We may not be able to, in a position to do it because we don't have a government of our own. I'm talking of the 96 and 98s at the BJP government level. But the fact is we ensure that we are focused on what we would want to deliver. Now, what is UCC? It is not a pure BJP promise as you speak of. It is a constitutional directive which speaks of what the country should ideally achieve at. It may happen today, it may happen 10 years down the line. We will ensure, the party leadership is very clear, that we will take the society along, but we'll reach the ideal. It may happen today, it may happen 6 months down the line, it may happen 6 years down the line.
But it's part of your ideology, this is where you stand. That is why you include this in your manifestos now.
We stand with it, it's ideologically in tune with our thinking.
Yeah.
Very much the constitutionality of it is, as you see, so strong.
Yeah, but what I meant was, of course, we know that the BJP largely believes in the UCC and it is part of your, larger vision for the country. But now it has become a trend that BJP-ruled states or during elections, BJP is starting to promise this at the state level. We no longer talk about this at the national level. That's what I was saying, the trend. Yes, you wanted to come in, Jyoti.
No, so just to come in and pitch into what Sir had said earlier. So you see the Congress from day one has been campaigning on issues and on guarantees from day one, that is. You have the Bharatiya Janata Party just a couple of days before come out and put a lollipop in terms of a manifesto, and a manifesto which has something like UCC and different things. And even if you see, one of the only promising things over there is something that was implemented by the Congress before, which was about providing rice, ration in forms of the Indira canteen in their own version. So that's what's happened with the Bharatiya Janata Party's manifesto. The people of Karnataka are fighting this election purely on local issues. It's a local election. Even though how much ever you bring Modi to Karnataka, it's not going to have much of an impact. You've seen it in this election in the last few days. And since they're on the back foot on the whole, it's aware that the people of Karnataka are going to be voting for the Congress.
Okay. BS Arun, these emotive issues, are they a factor in elections? For example, I did travel a little bit to coastal Karnataka. There, some of the political issues are a little bit different. But I feel like, even issues of halal, hijab, they are not really part of the discourse that much. There are some larger issues, which are the Sangh Parivar Hindutva issues, which people feel associated with. But some of those very, very pinpointed issues, communal issues, are not so much at the top of the minds of the public. But an emotive issue like UCC or NRC, do you think that will work for the BJP?
I don't think it will create any wave or, it will whip up passions, because BJP itself, has not taken up any emotive issue in the last about 6 months. It might matter in a few districts like the coastal region, which is BJP's so-called laboratory, and maybe in some districts like, say, Shimoga. Other than that, I think no other district, it will create any impact. And BJP itself, I think, very consciously is avoiding these subjects, perhaps knowing fully well that people of Karnataka don't like this type of polarization and issues such as communal issues, things like that.
Yeah, you're shaking your head. Why is that?
Because it's BJP in the last 6 years, 8 years, if you were to look at it, that's forcefully brought the debate of development during elections to the forefront. It was Prime Minister Modi who said it is development that's going to be the yardstick on which you're going to vote for us, either our promises and our vision or our performance. State after state, country, of course, we have had two massively big elections in 14 and 19. We have come with a vision, we have come with the performance parameters, and we have put development on the front.
Fair
It's
enough,
we,
but,
it's
you
we,
know,
we put it.
no,
And
can I just add though? Can I just add though? I've heard a few of your rallies on
I
ground.
can't help, but just smile when you say that BJP always looks at emotional issues.
No, I'm not saying always, but I think BJP does have this formula of these emotional national identity issues, which is fair. Every other party also plays it, right? I'm not saying you're the only one, but since you are the incumbent here, we are focusing on what you are doing to come back to power. But for example, on ground, Aman, there is talk of the PFI ban. I think that is one issue. They don't talk about hijab so much or halal so much. They don't want to get into food choices of people. But PFI ban is definitely an issue that Amit Shah raises.
Absolutely. Amit Shah has raised it. I will not be surprised if the PM also raises it in the future, because PFI ban is something that the BJP says it did to stop the appeasement politics which was going on in Karnataka.
And communalization, radicalization, especially for South India, and Karnataka is a big part of that.
Absolutely. So I think that is an important issue, and the BJP is correctly raising it. But I think, Shivani, the elephant in the room which is outside all these manifestos, at the end of the day, it's a caste issue as well. The promise made by the Congress of increasing the caste reservation beyond 50%, Siddaramaiah has said 75%. I think
Siddaramaiah, for that matter. The Congress and DK Shivkumar hasn't spoken about
said
it.
it. That's a fair point. But I think the reservation issues at the end of the day in Karnataka, as in any other state, really matters, and people's votes have also decided on certain parameters on the caste issue. I think that will be very important factor to look at.
So there's PFI ban issue and the Muslim reservation issue.
Muslim reservation issue, the 4% Muslim reservation issue, which is now in a kind of a cold storage. The Supreme Court decides it. But obviously the BJP's move to give it 2% to Vokalegas and Lingayats, and then questioning that if the Congress planning to roll it back, is they planning to take it back?
I think Congress has almost made it clear they do want to increase the overall quota so that they can accommodate that quota.
I think Congress has thrown its kitchen sink at this election. Okay, Congress for the 4 guarantees to now, promising the caste issue. Congress is going all out. It is desperate to win Karnataka. It's maybe the momentum it needs, for 2021. And UCC, I think, is more a warm-up towards what will actually happen before the 2024 general elections. Yeah. It has been done state to state because of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's good to see that, one from our community, I mean, Aman, our own inside reporter, is saying that Congress is throwing the kitchen sink, because in the past, Aman, curiously, the Congress has been accused of not putting in enough effort.
No, this time they are full into it.
They're full into it, and this is one of those states that they look very poised to, displace the BJP. Yes,
I think that's what I would say, an over-ambiguous statement, because if you see, the Congress has been on the front foot ever since the Bharatiya Janata Party went on to oust Yediyurappa from power, right? And when you speak about the reservation matter, it's very simple. Siddaramaiah ji's stance is extremely simple. He says when you can increase the reservation by 6%, why can it not go up to 75% to accommodate all communities? And this, he says, based on the Indira Savani versus the Union of India case, in which on exceptional stances, it can exceed the quota of 50%. That's his basic sort of formula as to why he's speaking about. He's saying when you're going to marginalize just the Muslims and you're going to exceed the cap, why not bring it up to 75%? That's a simple claim.
There is no question of marginalizing anyone.
So there is. You are removing 4% of the Muslims, and let me remind you, from the Nagapa.
From what?
Removing them from getting reservations in terms of.
But we don't have religious-based reservations in India.
No, let me remind you, it is the Nagapa Commission from the Justice Chinnappa Commission to various commissions which have proved that the Muslims are socially backward. We're not speaking about just them
so
being
they
the
are
religious.
Part of the other economically weaker section,
exactly
right?
what I'm trying to say. But if you look at the BJP's narrative, they're going on and saying that they're removing reservation for the Muslims. That's what I'm addressing over here.
That's your reading. I mean, we have.
No, that's what the Bharatiya Janata Party has explicitly gone on to say.
Our action is very clear. What is unconstitutional? Bringing in a religion-based reservation, we have removed it. We shall remove it. All other support in terms of economic, social and political across religions shall be given without discrimination. That we have proven time and again repeatedly. PM Kisan Yojana, Ujjwala Yojana, Ayushman Bharat Yojana, not even one single instance, I repeat, not even one single instance of discrimination based on religion.
No,
where do we stand? Then where do we stand?
No,
we are a true secular government in that sense of the term. They are ensuring the welfare of each and every community.
Wrong, because they base their entire reservation sort of battle based on a 1.5-page interim report that the Supreme Court itself has questioned over. And that's being heard on the 9th of this month. And everybody knows that this is a lollipop that they try to give to 2 communities. And they know that it's unconstitutional in nature and it's just done for the election gimmick. If not so, why didn't they bring this up 5 months before? Why
No,
is it
that's a
brought
fair
up
question
just
you
during
can
elections?
ask. But, I would like to say that I did recently debate this Muslim reservation issue. It's an issue that goes beyond Karnataka, even though this existed in Karnataka, because this is a larger issue as a country where we have to decide whether we are going to go down that path of having reservations in the name of religion, because backwardness is amongst all classes and categories, and there is provision for that. But anyways, I'll leave that debate for another day because this is a very contentious issue. I want to now focus on another issue which is dominating Karnataka discourse, and that's quote-unquote gali politics. There has been another remark that has purportedly been made against the Prime Minister that was made by Mallikarjun Kharge's son Priyank Kharge, although the Congress has now later come out to say that actually Priyank Kharge's comment was not for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He was actually referring to the Gulbarga MP. Let's listen.
ನಮ್ಮ ಮೂರನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಮೊನ್ನೆ ನೀವು ಗುಲ್ಬರ್ಗಾಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಬಂಜಾರ ಸಮಾಜದವರಿಗೆ? आप सब लोग डरिए मत, बंजारा का एक बेटा दिल्ली में बैठा है अंता। ऐसा नालायक बेटा बेटा तो कैसा होता भाई, घर कैसे चलेगा?
I think the Congress has been struck by a bug, contagious bug, and they fear by the name of Narendra Modi, and they start abusing and abusing and abusing. So that shows their ultimate desperation and culture.
We're also getting some breaking updates as far as this back and forth of abusive comments is concerned, because BJP has now filed a complaint with the Election Commission against Priyank Kharge over his alleged remark, which they say is against the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Of course, we know that the defense that the Congress party is likely to make, that this was not made for Prime Minister. It was made for a Gulbarg MP. But even then, is that something that should be allowed during a speech? That's another question we'll go to. But Aman, how do you look at this battle? The Prime Minister has already raised it once. He's going to carry on his blitzkrieg towards the final week of the campaigning now. Is this going to be one more time an issue that he's going to try to galvanize public sentiment on?
See, historically speaking, whenever the Congress has abused the Prime Minister, it has never worked. In fact, it boomerangs. Now, we have seen the remarks like, already BJP was attacking and Mr. Modi was attacking the comments by the Congress on Modi, teri kabar khudegi. Then it was the comment of the poisonous snake, and we've all seen last week how PM Modi has turned it around and, questioned the Congress on that. If the recent comment has also been said the way it is said, it really gives more ammunition to the BJP before the campaign began. In fact, this poisonous snake remark came just before PM Modi began his campaign, and you obviously saw that the Congress was worried about it, and especially the state leaders of the Congress who have tried to keep this election a very local election. And you saw Mr. Kharge immediately expressing special regret within an hour of making that comment. So that shows that Congress, at some level, I believe, at the state Congress leadership, does not want to attack the PM personally, because they want to keep the campaign on the 40% corruption or on the alleged...
But can I ask you, I find this very, very problematic or confusing from the Congress party. Every day they say, we don't want to focus about Narendra Modi, and, he's not the issue. It doesn't matter. We want to fight and focus on local issues, and yet every day the Congress gives ammunition to the BJP.
See, let me remind you that the state of affairs in the Bharatiya Janata Party is so sad that Narendra Modi has to be the face of their campaign over here. They don't have any strong leadership.
He's the face of their campaign everywhere.
We also have Rahul Gandhi as a
let me remind you that they are so dependent on Narendra Modi that it's sad to see. Now, coming to your question, these statements have been taken out of context on the whole. That's one. And if you want me to bring out a list of slurs that the Bharatiya Janata Party has brought, from Jersey cow to saying different things such as even Papu, clown, princess, that shows there's a long list.
This election
campaign? They have done it. They have done it. Irrespective of this election or another election, they have spoken.
No, fair enough.
There
are comments from the past, but I'm talking about this election. The only question I'm trying to understand is the Congress knows it doesn't work. Everybody agrees on that. You don't want to be seen doing it because, it takes away from the issues that will benefit if you talk about them. Why do your leaders still keep doing it?
Shivani, honestly, if you go to the common person, you can speak to even 10 people on the road today and ask them anything related to these sort of comments or slurs that the BJP has taken out of context, and they won't even care about it. All they know and all that is registered in the voters' mind today is a 40% commission government that they want to get rid of.
But then why this Cry PM poster? if you don't want to focus on the Prime Minister, why did you even bother releasing those posters?
Because the Prime Minister himself came, and instead of speaking about
But then
91
don't you put
promises...
the spotlight on him? He'll come and respond to this. I'm just saying, you don't want to play this game, but you keep playing this game.
See, the point is they don't have anybody in the state. That's the fact. The BJP doesn't have anybody. They ousted Saudi, they ousted Shettar, they ousted Yediyurappa from power. They don't even have a strong leader. Their own national high command has vested interests over here. Talking about a double-engine government, we're speaking about a propeller plane of the Bharatiya Janata Party that doesn't even have a pilot. That's what the Bharatiya Janata Party has been
Dr. Sameer, very quickly, BS, I'll go across to BS.
It's so interesting. I mean, I come from a place very close to the Congress presidents, the current Congress president's hometown. It's a very interesting thing, the kind of a pressure that Khargeji is under, you know. You have to win this particular election kind of a thing in Karnataka that is seeping in on him and on his son so much. I mean, we have seen last time Khargeji, senior Khargeji, going and saying, this is going to be my last election. He's crying, you know, tears rolling down his tears. Please make my son win the election. You can just Google and find out the kind of tears that roll down. Now, Mr. Kharge, Junior Kharge, who took severe exception when Pratap Singh called him Mari Kharge. Mari Kharge is a Junior Kharge. He took so much of exception, and it's so rich. The only plus point, so to speak, for Mr. Priyank Kharge is he's got a Kharge surname. Yes,
Okay, let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. Let's just focus on the fact whether there is admittedly, knowingly or unwittingly, a focus that is coming back to the Prime Minister again and again. Yes, Dhruv, very quickly.
Just a quick response.
Yeah.
So with all due respect, I'm sure you're aware about who Mr. Priyank Kharge is fighting his election against. It's somebody called Mr. Manikant Rathod from the Bharatiya Janata Party, who's convicted by the Yadgir court for in fact stealing hundreds of kilos of essentials of baby powder for kids from Anganwadi schools. That is a matter of fact that the Bharatiya Janata Party...
He must go to Parappana Agrahar or even Tihar. 50 days in Tihar or 100 days in Tihar.
No, but the question is why you give him a ticket.
So thank you for agreeing. I think he deserves to go there if he has stolen
He fits to Tihar as well.
Yes.
You know who people have gone to Tihar, people have stayed in Tihar. If someone is a criminal, let them go.
And sadly,
but
you've
is it
given a
proven?
ticket to such a person.
But why? But that is a fair question. Why give a ticket to such candidates?
No, the point, there are 2 points in it. One, if you're talking of the kind of criminal cases lodged against a person. If you look at 224 candidates into a number of parties, you will have easily about 40-50% of them because there's a legal process. Now, has he been convicted by the court?
Okay, we all know that. We all know that.
Like Rahul Gandhi, you know, so that 2 years conviction kind of a thing.
By the Yadgir court, and that's
how long? How long?
And
how many years?
The Prime Minister is going to go and campaign for this criminal in Gulbarga. That's a matter of fact. The Bharatiya Janata Party doesn't even have strong candidates.
The country as finance ministers and home ministers now end up on the charges of ED, money laundering.
But those are still charges. Those are still charges.
Real money laundering. Money laundering charges. Not just Amul baby stealing.
Yeah, BS Arun wants to come in. Yeah.
Yeah. See, this statement of Priyank Kharge shows that Congress leaders have not learned their lessons.
They're desperate.
The Chaiwala remark of 2014
still haunts them.
You know, still haunts them. Even today, BJP is reaping benefit out of it.
Yes.
Yesterday, I got a phone call, and that was, you know, Kharge speaking. This was obviously the BJP campaign. Kharge speaking about that sentence of his statement.
The poisonous snake remark.
That was played, and after that, you know, a remark made by a BJP leader saying that, is this the party and the person that you're going to vote for? You decide. You know, that much was the... So they have already started the campaign on that. You know, and still these leaders don't decide, don't learn. And it's very unfortunate, you know. People, the matured politicians are having decades of experience with them. Instead of speaking about the issues, non-performance or whatever, you know, whether it's BJP or Congress, you know, these people indulging in these personal attacks is very, very unfortunate. And this should be straight away, I think, you know, has to be.
I mean, without you know, without any judgment, but I do feel that politics in Karnataka is different. This isn't the kind of politics that works here, right, Aman?
I think the difference here, Shivani, is that though the state leadership of the Congress wants to keep it as a state-level election, I think once the national leadership of the Congress has stepped into the election, they feel, there's a feeling in the national leadership that if you go after Mr. Modi, your voters may like it. Okay, if you attack him, so that's aggression is there, be it in Rahul Gandhi's speech, be it in, you know, the speeches of Mr. Kharge. I think that's what I learned from one Congress leader today. They believe, the national leadership of the Congress believes that Mr. PM Modi's stock is diminishing post-2019. People want them to speak aggressively against the Prime Minister if we want to take him in 2024. I don't think the PM stock is diminishing as a national leader. I think this popularity remains intact, if not more. But that is the feeling in the Congress, and I think in a state election, I think till about 10 days back, Congress was fighting a very good election on state level issue. The state leaders have kept it like that. But in the last 10 days, obviously, ammunition has been given to PM Modi, and he's rightfully, in a way, in cashing on it.
No, can I just add to that? Interesting you mentioned that the Congress feels this is also their opportunity to attack the Prime Minister when 2024 comes. I was listening to one Amit Shah rally, and there he interestingly said that you vote for Prime Minister Modi or the BJP, that will strengthen Prime Minister Modi's hand in 2024 as well. So they also look at the Karnataka elections as a fillip to the 2024 battle. So both sides are looking at it.
Absolutely. See, PM Modi definitely remains the biggest vote catcher for the BJP in the national election as well as in the state election. He's the biggest face. If you see the BJP's manifesto, the biggest picture is still of PM Modi on the manifesto, and BJP doesn't shy away from it. Obviously, PM Modi is doing carpet rallies, 20 rallies and roadshows in the in a span of 10 days in Karnataka. Obviously, BJP goes full hog on him, and going towards 2024. Also, Imani, I think, Shivani, sorry, state election and Lok Sabha election was a different cup of tea. In 2018, BJP did not come to power in Karnataka, BJP did not come to power in Chhattisgarh, in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. 4 states it lost, but in Lok Sabha we know all what happened. So let's keep them separate, and I think Lok Sabha election, Mr. Modi remains a very popular and leading leader. Which is going also Telangana.
Can I take final questions from our guests? Since Aman has teased it, the last elections, the BJP couldn't form government initially, but they were the single largest party that fell short by, what, 6 seats or so, right? 8, maybe. So this time around, do you think they can even come that close, or is it going to be Congress's 130 plus? Yes, Dhruv, I'll take final comments starting from there. Dhruv,
very simple, highly unlikely, because what they did was they ended up purchasing MLAs, and once they did that, the system automatically reinvigorated to a 40% government where they had to make that money back. That's what the Bharatiya Janata Party is known as. And if not for so, you go through any survey report, you will see the Congress party with a full majority, and that's what's going to happen on April 10th. And that is the answer of the people of Karnataka on May 10th, and that is the answer of the people of Karnataka to this corrupt government and to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, whose image is diminishing before 2024.
Yes, Dr. Samir.
I mean, we are taught in our B schools, hope is not a strategy. I mean, you hope that the Prime Minister's stock goes down. That's not a strategy. They tend to mistake hope for a strategy, number one. Number two, we are very clear for 2 reasons that Karnataka, we're going to see a BJP government with a better majority this time. When I say better majority, 125 to 128 kind of a number that we are internally seeing. The reason being, people realize, assuming for a moment that the state leadership, I'm on air, assuming for the moment that the state leadership is not as you expected in terms of your capability. But they believe strongly that you have a big man there who can ensure that the shortfalls are taken care of, drive the narrative, make sure that the delivery happens. That's number one. Number two, more importantly, we have made a very bold statement. We are here for a change. 72 new faces, trying to tell the people, saying that we are listening to you. If it's going to mean better governance, like Modi ji, be it so, we are here. That's the reason why we will come back to power with a fairly big majority, 128 आस-पास में, and 13th May, I'd love to be here to sort of reiterate that statement.
We'd love to be here too, but we'll certainly get you on. This is certainly one of the more interesting elections in a long time, state elections, and as we gear up to 2024, 1 year countdown has started. So every state election is going to have that much more stakes attached. Let me take final comments from our more neutral observers than the party spokesperson about the numbers. BS Arun, why don't you go first? Is it very easy to call that there will indeed be a single largest party by a full majority, or could it be close like last time or a hung assembly like last time?
I feel I won't take the bite. I feel that over the next 10 days, which party that impresses the voters more, because next 10 days I feel crucial.
So people's mind is not made up yet.
May not be 100%.
Okay.
May not be 100%, but they might have, sort of veering towards one party.
Yeah.
But how well the, the 3 parties, address the issues that are closest to the people, and how they would impress upon the voters, I think that will be the deciding factor. The next 10 days would be crucial, or 9 days.
Yeah. Aman.
Well, I think it's a tight election. I would not stick my neck out on who's winning here. But I think a thing among the electorate voters, Shivani, here also is that they don't want a khichdi government anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it will be a clear mandate for whoever it is. My only thing is that I feel that has the Congress peaked too early in this election? And is BJP going to actually peak at the right time towards the end? That is something I hear a lot from politicians, that Congress campaign began early and it peaked early. Now it's kind of plateaued, while the BJP started slow, but now it's peaking at the right time. So I think that, and that's
BS Arun said.
BS Arun said, then the last 9 days are very, very crucial in this.
Yeah, so in that sense, both of our experts kind of agree that the game is not won just yet. There is still lots to play for.